Struggling universities to struggling primary schools now, Josh, as The Guardian say, we are quite simply running out of children. No kidding.
Yes, more than 90 English primary schools to close or face closure for lack of pupils. So my eldest is 14. When he went to primary school about 10 years ago, it was hard to get a place because you had a baby boom, a little baby boom, but you also had the Polish people who'd come over. They were settled now somewhat, and then they started having kids. So it was actually tough to get spaces. More classes were opened up and more schools were opened up.
Right.
And now what's happened is that figure is declining. And more than that, we're actually reaching this point where there are going to be less pupils like in reception than year 1 and 2. And it's like with old people in terms of paying the pensions and whatnot, we go into this sort of free fall.
The inverse population.
Yes, exactly.
Pyramid.
Replacement rate or whatever is going down. So this is something...
they're closing some of the smaller schools. They'll be combining them.
Yeah, and this is mostly, a lot of it is in London because that's where a lot of this population growth was, but it is going to become a larger issue.
So this is not like some tiny rural primary school in the middle of...
No, it's not. And also, that's going to then, in time, it's going to affect secondary schools and whatnot. And
on the other hand, though, London will become more bearable.
I mean, this does speak to a wider problem for the country. We're not having children because the powers that be have decided we don't need children. They don't want children. To keep the economy going, it's far cheaper and better for them if they just bring in fully grown workers from overseas than grow them here.
It does seem to be, I mean, I don't know whether there's a conspiracy, but it does seem to be that there is certainly, like, at the very least, a shrug. Well, if people won't have children, we'll just import them at the age of 18, as you say. I don't know that is quite, if it's a like-for-like replacement. It doesn't feel to me like it is...
Well, also, they bring them out, like with the Polish population that came over, they had kids here. And those kids are English kids. You know what I mean? They're friends of my kids.
Yeah, you grow up, the old Jesuit thing, 0 to 7, and and that's it.
That's what they are. Yeah, exactly. But the reason that schools have a problem is because they're paid per pupil.
Yeah.
So it's not like the olden days, and so when they, even though the government says, oh, we're spending loads of money on our pupils, the reality is that for a school that loses half of it, they're losing thousands of pounds.
This is what happens if you educate women, unfortunately. Anyway.